Okay, let's talk about ICT introduction. So, we're talking about the evolution of communication. Communication has improved, evolved to facilitate daily activities in the 21st century. Everything related to communication utilizes technology to send out or disseminate information to a wider audience. Information can be sent out in many ways. The inventions of cellular phones, television, and other electronic devices are important in enhancing communication. What is ICT, or Information Communication Technology? ICT is the technology required for communication processing, in particular the use of electronic computers, communication devices, and software applications to convert, store, and protect, process, transmit, and retrieve information from anywhere, anytime. So some examples of ICT, we have information upon reading books, communication with regards to talking or verbal communication, sharing with friends, and of course for technology we have email findings. Information refers to the knowledge obtained from reading, investigation, study, or research. The tools to transmit information are the telephone, television, and radio. We need information to make decisions and to predict the future. For example, scientists can detect the formation of a tsunami or the tidal wave using the latest technology and warn the public to avoid disasters in the affected areas. That means to say, they can actually know when this disaster, natural disaster, comes with the early warning device. So magagawa na yun ng tao dahil naiimbento na nila magkaroon ng early warning device para malaman natin kung kailan dumadating yung natural disaster. Okay? Information is a knowledge and helps us to fulfill our daily tasks. For example, forecasting the stock exchange market. So you can see those things in your computer. Communication is an art of transmitting messages. It is a process whereby information is exchanged between individuals using symbols, signs, or verbal interactions. Previously, people communicated through signs or symbols, performing drama and poetry. With the advent technology, these older forms of communication are less utilized as compared to the use of the internet, email, or video conferencing. So, as you can see in the pictures, these are technologies being used in communication. Communication is important in order to gain knowledge. With knowledge, we are more confident in expressing our thoughts and ideas. Technology is the use of scientific knowledge, experience, and the resources to create, process, and products that fulfill human needs. Technology is the vital in communication. So we have aiding communication. Telephone and fax machines are the devices used in extending communication. Spreading the information, to broadcast information such as news, weather reports effectively, radio, television, satellites, and the World Wide Web are powerful tools that can be used. So we have the technology timeline. So in 3500 BC, the Sumerians developed a cuneiform writing. In 1500 BC, the Phoenicians developed the alphabet. In 105 BC, Cylon of China invented the paper. In 1454, the first printing began with the creation of a printing machine. In 1793, the telegraph line was invented. In 1876, the first telephone was introduced. In 1925, television was made known to the public. In 1941, the computer was created. In 1958, the photocopier machine was introduced. In 1963, the communication satellite was introduced. In 1969, the first internet known as the ARPANET was introduced. So we move on to the evolution of computers. So in the early years before the computer was invented, there are several inventions of counting machines. 200 BC, we have the Chinese abacus. 500 BC, we have Egyptian abacus. 1620, John Napier invented the Napier's bones. In 1653, Blaise Pascal, the French mathematician, invented the Pascaline. In 1673, we have Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz. He invented the Leibniz-Rechner or Leibniz calculator. In 1801, Joseph Marie Jacquard created the weaving loom. In 1823, Charles Babbage was considered as the father of modern computer, invented the mechanical calculator machine. In 1941, Harvard University created the Mark I. This machine is actually the size of a room. So it's very large machine. Computer generations. First generation we have from 1940 to 1956. The first generation of computer were huge, slow, expensive, and often unreliable. In 1946, two American scientists, Presper Eckert and William Mauchly, built the ENIAC or Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It uses the vacuum tube instead of mechanical switches as of the Mark I. In 1951, Eckert and Mauchly built the UNIVAC, which could calculate the rate of 10,000 addition per second. So the next one is the hardware technology. The new invention of hardware were needed with the new computer technology. So we have the vacuum tube, the punch card, the magnetic tape. It was actually introduced in 1957. It was a faster and more compact method storing data. Using magnetic tape become more reliable and cost-effective. So we have here the classification of the vacuum tubes. Second generation from 1956 to 1963. The famous scientists during the second generation era were John Bardeen, Walter Hauser Brattain, and William Shockley. This is a creation of the transistors. Transistors were smaller than vacuum tubes. They need no warm-up time, consume less energy, generate much less heat, faster and more reliable. In the third generation from 1964 to 1971, in the third generation era, the IBM 370 series were introduced in 1964. It became several models and sizes. It was used for business and scientific programs. Other computer models introduced were CDC 7600 and B2500. The development of the integrated circuit or IC signaled the beginning of the third generation computers. Silicon chips were manufactured in 1961 at the Silicon Valley. Then were the integrated circuits technology, which had reduced the size of the cost of computers. So we have also the advantages of a silicon chip. So silicon chips were reliable, compact, and cheaper. Sold hardware and software separately, which created the software industry. Customer service industry flourished, meaning the reservation and credit checks. So for the fourth generation, we have 1971 until the present time. It took only 55 years for the four generations to evolve. The growth of the computer industry developed technologies of computer inventions. There are many types of computer models such as the Apple Macintosh, IBM, Dell, and Acer. In 1971, Intel created the first microprocessor. In 1976, we have Steve Jobs built the first Apple computer. Then in 1981, IBM introduced its personal computer. During the fourth generation, hardware technologies such as silicon chips, microprocessor, and storage devices were invented. A microprocessor is a specialized chip which is developed for computer memory or logic. So we have the microprocessor. A microprocessor is a large-scale integrated circuit which contains thousands of transistors. The transistors on this one chip are capable of performing all of the functions of a computer central processing unit. The advantages: computers became 100 times smaller than ENIAC, which is the first computer. It gains in speed, reliability, and storage capacity. Personal and software industry boomed. For the fifth generation, the present and beyond, the fifth generation computers are technologically advanced, are still being developed to become more efficient. The inventions of new hardware technology in the first generation have grown rapidly, including many of modern computer devices such as silicon chips, processor, robotics, virtual reality, intelligent systems, programs which translates languages. So we also have the new era computer. After the fifth generation computer, the technology of computer has become more advanced, modern, and sophisticated. The latest invention in the era of computers are the supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, personal computers, and mobile computers. In the new era of computers, expert systems such as teleconferencing, speech recognition system have been invented as part of modern world communication tools. So here are the pictures. So that's about it. So we're gonna stop until here. So next meeting will be talking about the lesson 3 about usage of ICT in daily life for our next lecture. So thank you very much for listening.